It's another on this stage, John Gibbons with Mike Nevin, and we're here to talk about Juventus in 2005. And it was on the road to Istanbul, Mike, wasn't it? But worth saying first, there was a time when I don't think many people were believing in an Istanbul final. We'd just been beating Leverkusen, you know, but beating them pretty well home and away. But Juventus were unbeaten all season, an amazing football team, and I don't think there was huge expectations going into the tie.
No, I mean, I thought we'd get beat. I mean, it was great to beat Olympiacos, and then I think it was Leverkusen. We come through that really quite well. But I think in our heart of hearts, the quality in their team, I mean, you know, Del Piero, Nedved, Lilian Thuram, Cameron Heysel, Cannavaro, World Cup winning captain, and, you know, it was just an incredible side. And I think they won that season. They actually won the Serie A
by 7
points. And when you take into account how good AC Milan were, we all saw that in Istanbul, then they must have been some team.
It was obviously the first time since Heysel that we played them as well, 20 years on. The football club obviously thought long and hard about how best to kind of address that. They did the mosaic. It was taken in different ways by the Juventus fans, shall we say. I think looking back, Liverpool on that night probably did everything they could. There was the presentation as well between, you know, the captains from the day and things like that. I think they generally got the tone right, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, they had to do something, and I think they struck the right note in terms of an apology. And to be perfectly honest, I think that the way that the Juventus ultras reacted to it was understandable. I mean, you know, you can't just make an apology like that, albeit that Liverpool did their utmost to try and sort of, you know, make the right noises. But what was weird about it, I think, certainly from my point of view, is that once they turned their backs on the apology, I think it just created a real edge to the atmosphere. I mean, there was a part of me was like, you know, fuck them basically. and you know, you got into the game, you just thought, oh, you need to win this game. And having been to Heysel, you know, that was something that I felt I was denied. This great occasion between Liverpool and Juventus, their end at Heysel, you know, aside from the disaster, you look at their end, it's like the epitome of European fan culture. There's flags everywhere. I was obsessed with that at the time. So to not get what we were expecting at Heysel, albeit that it was a great tragedy, was really, you know, it was disappointing. It was actually my 17th birthday present, and you know, it was upsetting, but it was disappointing. So the chance to play them again 20 years on, you know, it was an anniversary, I suppose, as well. But I just wanted to get the feel that I would have had in Brussels, really.
And an amazing start from the team. I mean, it's quite the team selection. Andy Latalik plays up front, but sets up one of the goals. And I think that was the first sign we saw under that Rafa team of this early blitz that we'd come to know in Europe over the next 4 or 5 years as we became the #1 ranked team in Europe. It's this idea the first 20 minutes we're going to hit you with everything, we're going to get the crowd going, and even the best teams are going to struggle to cope with it.
Yeah, and it was incredible. I think the atmosphere at that game, it's actually underrated. It sort of gets lost in the story about Chelsea being the best atmosphere at Anfield, certainly since the Kop was seated. I'd say that was on a par, again, because there was that edge, that little bit of nastiness. And it was incredible. And in terms of harnessing the crowd, it seemed like the obvious way to go at them, because in terms of quality, they were obviously a lot better. So to just try and blitz them, and the effect on their players was unbelievable, really. I mean, balls are going into touch on the Kemlyn Road side, and, you know, real quality players were totally and utterly ruffled by that, and you could sense it, and the more that you could sense it, the more the atmosphere was ramped up. And I think we sort of scored at the right time then. I mean, Hippier's finish, really, I mean, Garcia's goal, please mention about that more in a minute, but Hippier's goal, I mean, the controlled left foot volley from a centre-half, you know, I mean, it's sort of Virgil van Dijk-esque in a sense, isn't it? And it was at exactly the right time, just after, I suppose, just at the point where the game is beginning to settle down a little bit after that massive spurt of energy from the start. So yeah, 1-0. You think, right, okay, we can do something here. I still don't think we're going to go through at that point. But obviously, when Garcia gets that goal, you know, the arc on it, the dip on it, it's an unbelievable finish, really. Buffon's like, you know, he's got his arms flailing. I think then you think, yeah, we can go through here.
He's a funny player, Garcia. He certainly sort of divided opinion on the Kop, didn't he? And one of the other stands as well, the main stand, used to give him a bit of a hard time. But I mean, in terms of big goals in his Liverpool career, it's hard to argue with him, isn't it?
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, he was infuriating in the sense that he constantly gave the ball away. But in his defence, he was always trying things. He was a very innovative player. Always had an eye for a pass that was, you know, sort of out of the norm, if you like. And I think that's probably why he did give it away, probably too often. But his ability to, as you say, get those goals. There was another one very similar in the semi-final against Chelsea the following season, and a number of others as well. You know, real quality goals. He was a quality player.
They get one back. It's a bit of a mistake by Scott Carson, really playing one of his first games for Liverpool, I think. And then it's a case of holding on, isn't it? And then you get a different sort of crowd, don't you? There's the early noise, the early ramp it up, and then there's these lads on the pitch need us, and we're going to make sure we see this through.
And that was very much what it was about. It sort of kept the atmosphere going all the way through, right to the end. I think everyone wanted to win the tie. I think you can get sucked into just this football match. Forget about the second leg. It would just be lovely to beat the Juventus side of this quality.
And we did. And we won 2-1. We're doing a longer piece on this game, should probably tell you. It's meant to be out by now, but I need to get my finger out. But it will be coming out over the next sort of month or so, much longer piece, because it's a fascinating tie. But I hope you've enjoyed that little look in terms of on this day. Juventus, Liverpool 2, Juventus 1. As Mike says, one of the most underrated atmospheres at Anfield. It was a brilliant night.